Arsenal is now encouraged to sign the Chelsea striker following the deal for Pedro Neto. On the other hand, Pep Guardiola makes a controversial statement about something Arsenal is doing. And at the peak of the transfer window, Arteta receives the news that Arsenal could also sign one of the best attacking players for just £30 million. Stay with me until the end of the video to check out the latest Arsenal news straight from the Emirates Stadium. But before that, if you're as passionate about Arsenal as we are, don't waste any time and subscribe to our channel right now to stay updated on everything happening with the greatest team in the Premier League. And without further ado, let's dive into today's top news. Arsenal has been on the lookout for attacking talent this summer, aiming to bring more firepower and pace to the team. Last season, they scored plenty of goals, but still couldn't quite outpace Manchester City in the title race. What they really need now is a game changer, someone who can inject speed into their transitions, cover both wings, and bring an extra goal threat. That kind of player would be the perfect addition to Arteta's squad. Arteta had his eyes on Nico Williams, but the Spanish star decided to stay at Athletic Bilbao. Meanwhile, Pedro Neto, who has been on Arsenal's radar for a while, is heading to Chelsea instead. With Chelsea adding Neto to their roster, they might need to offload a few players from their overcrowded squad. Some Arsenal fans are starting to warm up to the idea of Arteta revisiting his interest in Mikel Merino, one of his previous targets. But now, Darren Bent, a former Premier League striker, has suggested that there's another Chelsea attacker who would be a better fit for Arsenal. Interestingly, it's someone Arteta already knows very well. Darren Bent encourages Arsenal to sign Raheem Sterling from Chelsea. Speaking on TalkSport, Bent claimed that despite Sterling's struggles for Chelsea, he could add a lot to Arsenal's attack. He is only 29, which means there's more in him. I think I will take him at Arsenal, you know? Bent stated of Sterling, I am not saying he starts every game, but to have Sterling on the left, he is only 29. People talk about Sterling like he is 35. Sterling was a standout player at Manchester City, where he racked up an impressive 131 goals in 339 appearances, establishing himself as one of the top wingers in the Premier League. However, he made the move to Chelsea 2 years ago. Since joining Chelsea, things haven't gone as smoothly for him. He's managed to score 19 goals and provide 12 assists in 81 games, but he hasn't quite recaptured the form that made him so feared at City. This dip in performance even cost him his spot in the England squad. Sterling's peak performance at Manchester City happened when Arteta was serving as Pep Guardiola's assistant. The English winger even praised Arteta back in 2020, saying he had a big role here. The manager trusted him, and he had a lot of influence on the players and the team. Sterling noticed the impact Arteta brought to Arsenal, saying, "You can see the change he's made there, the energy, the way he's got them working off the ball. We always knew Arsenal could play good football, but under Mikel, they've become much more aggressive without the ball." Even though Sterling was brilliant in the past, his hefty wages, around £325k a week, combined with his recent dip in form, might make him a less appealing option for Arsenal now. Plus, it's unclear if Chelsea would be open to letting him move to the Gunners for a bargain price. Pep Guardiola fires spending shot at Arsenal. During a press conference before Manchester City's Community Shield match against Manchester United, Guardiola was asked about the spending habits of Arsenal and United. He pointed out that whenever Man City spends big, it tends to grab all the headlines, while the spending of other clubs often goes unnoticed.
Does it concern you at all that Arsenal have added quite an expensive defender? Man United have spent money to bring in two players. Does it concern?
Yeah, many years have done it. Many years. But it's no news. It's just when City spend money.
It doesn't concern you ahead of a new season?
Of course I'm concerned for many years how good they are, because every year they are better and better and getting better. So the see Arsenal playing is the same level last season. I saw the game against Leverkusen. They are on fire. They are every year it looks like more difficult. United will be back, you know, both players and everyone won the crown that we have for 4 years.
Pep Guardiola is being hypocritical over Arsenal and Man City spending. So far, Arsenal's only senior signing has been Calafiori, while Manchester City have brought in Savinho. Both players are of similar status and value. While City might still make more moves, both teams have been relatively quiet this summer, especially compared to last year, given the tough market. Under Guardiola, City have spent big, consistently investing in top players for specific roles. On the other hand, Arsenal has had to be more strategic with their signings due to having less to spend. This makes Guardiola one of the last managers who can really point to spending as an advantage for other teams. Arsenal could sign one of the best attacking players around for just £30 million. Arsenal are expected to stay active in the transfer market over the next few weeks as Edu and Mikel Arteta aim to bolster the squad. So far, the Gunners have only secured one senior addition, bringing in Riccardo Calafiori from Bologna. With just 3 weeks left until the transfer window closes, Arsenal will likely be pushing to add more reinforcements. One key area they might focus on is signing a new striker, as their lack of a true number 9 was arguably a factor in last season's shortcomings. Names like Victor Osimhen and Victor Gyökeres have reportedly caught Arsenal's attention, among others. Now, there's talk that a striker, considered one of the best attacking players available, could be up for grabs for just £30 million. The player being discussed is Brentford and England star Ivan Toney, who has reportedly been a long-term target for Arsenal. Recently, there's been a lot of speculation about his price tag dropping significantly. Initially, Toney was valued at over £80 million, but according to recent reports, Brentford might reduce their asking price to under £50 million due to a lack of strong interest. TalkSport pundit Tony Cascarino even suggested that Toney could be available for as low as £40 million plus add-ons. Now, The Times is reporting that Toney might be available for just £30 million as he's in the final year of his contract at Brentford's G-Tech Community Stadium. It's surprising that there's been so little concrete speculation about Ivan Toney this summer, especially after months of being linked with clubs like Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur. However, it seems this lack of interest might be working in favor of Arsenal and other potential suitors. The bidding war that Brentford might have hoped for hasn't happened, leaving them with a valuable asset whose price is falling because of his contract situation. If no club makes a move for Toney this summer, he could be available at a bargain price in January, or even for free next summer. Jamie Carragher mentioned last year on Sky Sports that Toney is one of the best attacking players in the league, while Brentford manager Thomas Frank called him the best penalty taker in the world. If Arsenal can secure Toney for £30 million, it would be an incredible steal. Arsenal are just £8.5 million away from agreeing deal to sign spectacular player. Arsenal have been quite strategic in targeting Mikel Merino. The Spanish midfielder is in the last year of his contract with Real Sociedad and has decided not to renew it, signaling his intent to move this summer. Merino is eager to join Arsenal and has already agreed on personal terms with Mikel Arteta's team. However, the tricky part now is negotiating a deal with Real Sociedad. According to Mundo Deportivo, Arsenal have put forward an offer of €25 million, £21.5 million for Merino, but that amount is seen as too low. Real Sociedad are holding out for €35 million, £30 million, which is what Atletico Madrid reportedly offered for the Euro 2024 winner earlier this window. Currently, Arsenal are €10 million, £8.5 million off the mark, and it remains to be seen if they can bridge the gap and finalize the transfer. Merino has been one of La Liga's most consistent midfielders over the past 3 years. As one of Real Sociedad's key players, they're determined to keep him despite Arsenal's interest. In a bid to thwart Arteta's plans, Sociedad have made a lucrative offer to Merino, hoping to persuade him to stay and sign a new contract. However, Merino has made it clear that he wants to join Arsenal, so the new offer is unlikely to sway him. With the Premier League season kicking off next weekend, Arteta will be keen to finalize this deal swiftly. Well folks, those were the main news for today. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated on everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and until the next video.